Warning, Materialists is not a rom-com. It is not a rom-com. These are rough times for so many people, and I've been asked, why would you review movies during this time right now? You know, films don't really matter. They don't solve the issues of the day, and we should only be talking about those issues. And I'm going to counter that by saying that films, storytelling, any type of storytelling can save us. It delivers empathy. It can be an escape for some, but can also make you a better person. You know, jumping into someone else's life or their experiences can give you a broader view of the world at large. So with that said, I went into Materialists, the new film by Celine, who made a fantastic debut with Past Lives. And this follow-up is being marketed as a rom-com when it's not really fair to say that that's what it is, or at least it's Celine Song's version of a rom-com. It's funny how she has done two films in a row that are basically involving three characters who commingle. And this one, though, takes on a different form. We have Dakota Johnson playing Lucy, who works as a matchmaker at a high-end Manhattan agency called Adore. Her ex-boyfriend, John, played by Chris Evans, is a cater waiter and a aspiring actor, but in his late 30s, he's questioning his choices and always being broke, living in a terrible apartment with two pretty lousy roommates. So he is on one side, her ex, and then she meets Pedro Pascal, who plays Harry, who is a very wealthy man, very confident, sure of himself. And she meets him at a wedding of one of her clients, and he happens to be the brother of the groom. And there's an instant connection between the two. And at that same wedding, Chris Evans, John, is the cater waiter, and he makes his presence known to Lucy, and so it strikes up these various conversations where everybody is questioning what love is, what do we expect out of a match, do we just check off boxes, or is love more elusive, and how do you know when you're in love? How do you know when you're a good match? And is matchmaking a morally acceptable way to go about these things as well? It questions a lot of that throughout this film. There is a subplot involving one of her clients, played by Zoe Winters, who many of you will remember from Succession, and she's fantastic. And her storyline feels like the B story for a while until it kind of takes over the film in a very surprising way that transforms what can be perceived as a rom-com into something much more deadly serious and richer and more interesting, causing all of our characters to question how they view the world and how they view themselves. This is a profoundly beautiful film. I had that same woozy feeling from this that I did from Past Lives. And Celine Song, working with her cinematographer from Past Lives, have created this beautiful look for the film. These may be movie stars, but they're not shot like movie stars. They're shot like people who actually live in New York, where they might occupy a part of a frame, but then we see the rest of it, which is a bunch of other people at a wedding, so that we know that we're not just centering these characters, which a lot of film tends to do, especially romantic comedies, where we're just focused in on these main characters, whereas this way we see how they react to their environment. The framing is exquisite. There are so many beautiful wider shots of Dakota Johnson, for example, just sitting, reading, looking at her phone, and it just has this sort of deliriously beautiful quality to it. And one of the things that sets this film apart is Celine Song is a patient filmmaker. This is not whiz-bang storytelling. This is patient, slow, methodical, giving room for people to self-examine. And that's what I love so much about it. There are other filmmakers that I'm admiring right now who have a similar approach, such as Andrew Ahn, who he will take any subject matter, like his recent remake of The Wedding Banquet, and apply his very patient style of building character from the inside out. And you see that here in Materialists, where this high-end matchmaker, straight out of Jane Austen on the surface. She works for Marin Ireland, who does a nice turn as her boss, who they ping-pong back and forth about, is what they're doing okay? How well do they know the people that they're matching up with? And it's really is striking in what it makes you as an audience member feel while you're watching this, because your expectation is, I want to follow these romances, I want to follow, the template, and you don't get that. This is not Julia Roberts. This is not Sandra Bullock's rom-com. This is Celine Song saying, and she has experience in the past. She worked as a matchmaker, so she knows whereof she speaks. She's saying that love is not just a business deal. Marriage is not just a business deal as it used to be in the past. It's something much more esoteric, something that's just hard to really grasp. A lot of people say, when they fall in love, they'll know it when they see it. And that's how I felt about this film. I knew it when I saw it. I knew that there was something special here. Dakota Johnson is given so much room to breathe with her character. And her character is surprising in how she sees herself more than anything else. This self-reflection that she gets in the film is some of her best work. And she may be icy and a little cold and flat on the surface, but stay with it, because that is part of the plan here. Pedro Pascal has probably the least to do. He's charming, and he is very at ease playing this wealthy man. Yet he does have this wonderful scene where it kind of explains why he took the film, and it's kind of like he's just unmasked and he becomes raw and very interesting. The MVP of the film, in addition to Zoe Winters, who I just think almost steals the film, is Chris Evans. He's never been better, playing this guy who feels like he's a failure because he hasn't achieved success as an actor, and that he can barely scrape by, and that he doesn't feel worthy of love. And you see it on his face from the very beginning of the film, and it just deepens and deepens as it goes along. And he is so at ease in this film. There's nothing tight about watching him, which I felt in other performances, especially like the Captain America of it all, where you just feel like this need to entertain, this need to perform for the audience. That's not here. That's not a Celine Song film at all. This is naturalistic yet artful at the same time. Can't recommend it enough. I hope you go see it. If you have already, please leave a comment below and let me know what your thoughts are, because I'm seeing there's been some division over this film. Some people are just not buying it, or they were bored. And, mileage may vary with this, but I do want to hear from you and would love it if you left a comment, if you liked, subscribed, all of that. And so until then, later haters.